Remember Siege? The mode Brawl Stars removed that still has one of the most passionate fanbases ever? Well, I've reworked it, and here's how it could actually return. Before we get into the full rework, I quickly wanted to say thanks and congratulate everyone who helped me create this masterpiece. It was mainly made in the competitive subreddit of Brawl Stars. In this video, I will only cover the final polished version. I will also leave a link to all the 3 parts, so you can go and check out after this video. Okay, now, let's get into the rework. First, I'ma cover why Siege was removed, and why I don't buy the excuses. Okay, so, we've been thinking about Siege ever since they introduced Brawl Arena, and honestly, I still feel like it had so much potential. No people said it was too long or too snowbally, but if you look at Brawl Arena now, that's literally 2x longer and more complex and people love it. So don't buy that ass. The only reason Siege got axed, as I said, I reworked it with the help of the community's feedback, and I will show you the final version in 3 pictures. 1. Adjusting the ice and robot stats. 2. Making the matches longer with improved sieges, while keeping the objective the same. 3. Other small tweaks to prevent cheesy strategies to fully maximize the chances of Siege being a competitive game mode again. 1. Adjusting the ice and robot stats. Ever since the power creep update happened, everything got buffed along the way. Everything but the Siege UK and the Siege robot. With these changes, and the longer matches, I feel like Siege will be much better game mode overall. Let's start with the Ike buffs. 100% HP buff from 40,000 all the way to 80,000 HP. Basically, why I did such a massive health increase is because the Ike would get destroyed so easily. Also, I'll mention under reason number 2, why the Ike and the robot will get huge changes. So stay tuned. 50% damage buff from 1000 to 1. 5k damage, basically the same explanation as previously. You will find out why the Ike is getting buffed so much in reason number 2. 25% faster attack speed. Now, this buff wasn't in mind for the reason in number 2. It just makes sense for the Ike to shoot faster. Look at the Brawl Arena towers, they can shred you in seconds. Now, also quickly cover some robot buffs. 33% HP buff from 45,000 to 60,000 HP. This is technically the same since it wasn't changed with power creep. 100% increased damage per bolt from 50 to 100 extra damage per bolt. This is because the robot basically did no damage and could have been very easily taken out. 10% speed buff for every 10 bolts collected. 2. Making the matches longer with improved sieges while keeping the objective the same. Seeing that Brawl Arena lasts 8 minutes and it has a lot of success in the community, considering that Siege was also a lot like a MOBA experience, the match duration will be 6 minutes long. If overtime happens, it will be 2 extra minutes, so 8 minutes in total. With this change now, you will also lose and gain double the trophies than in normal game modes. Since now, the matches will be long 6 minutes, the 45-second sieges will feel too frequent. To fix that issue, now, Siege will happen every minute. Expect the first one. That one will happen in the first 35 seconds. The bolts were also an issue. So now, they will spawn symmetrically. If there is a 5 or less bolt difference between the bolts collected by the teams, a robot will spawn from both sides. This is to prevent quick and unfair comebacks of the other team, since you could be controlling the middle the whole time, and then for one quick mistake, they collect a few more bolts than your team, which will result in your team probably losing. Quick example I give for this is if, let's say your team has 10 bolts, but the enemies have 4 bolts, and they manage to take your team out, and while you're coming back, if they can collect over 10 bolts and basically win the game. But with this issue fixed, both teams in this situation will spawn robots. 3. Other small tweaks to prevent cheesy strategies and make Siege a competitive game mode again. When there are no spawned robots, both of the K turrets will gain a 75% shield. This is to prevent backdooring and to prevent brawlers like Grom, Mandy, Chuck, and Juju from destroying the K effortlessly without a robot. When the K reaches 50% health, it will activate an immunity shield that will last for 5 seconds. Maps won't have a huge chunk of walls or water in front of the ice. A thinner wall will be added further away from it to prevent the robot getting stuck with loose super. All damage from outside the ice damage will be fully blocked. To deal 25% of your normal damage to the K, you need to go inside its range. To deal 100% of your damage to the ice, a robot would need to be spawned. So now, after this rework spread all over social media, YouTube, Reddit, and X or Twitter, you might be wondering, what is the chance that Siege will return in the game? Maybe even as a seasonal game mode? Well, since I am still a small creator, I will say the chances are small, but not none. I also found a little clue on Reddit that might lead to Supercell actually bringing back. And it's this picture right here. Sorry that it's a bit dark, but do you notice something? No? Well, to get started, this is a picture of the game mode rotation in the next update. And as you can see, many seasonal game modes have become permanent, like Volley Brawl, Basketball, Dodge Brawl, Haka Brawl, Wipeout, and Token Run. But that's not the main thing. Now look at Brawl Arena. Currently Brawl Arena is rotating with random modes like 5 vs 5, Brawl Ball, and Showdown Plus, which have zero connection with Brawl Arena. Brawl Arena is a MOBA and is a new game mode. Out of all the modes, only the old and classic ones are rotating on Fear O. But in this group falls Brawl Arena. It's a weird coincidence, right? But what if it's gonna rotate with Siege? I might sound crazy, but think of it this way. Both are complicated modes that require strong teamwork, and both are MOBAs, so it literally makes sense for them to be together. What do you think of this? Let me know in the comments. And that was the entire rework, guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Let's spread the word. #BringBackSiege.